I'm sitting in this nursing home room, staring at the door that hasn't opened with a visitor in 8 months. 8 months since my granddaughter left me here with a promise she'd come back soon. 8 months of waiting for someone who's decided I don't deserve her time. The nurses are kind. They bring me meals, help me with things I can't do anymore. But they can't fill the emptiness of knowing that the child I raised, the baby I saved, the girl I gave my entire retirement to, she thinks I'm the villain in her story. I raised her from the time she was 3 months old. Her mother, my daughter, she left. Just walked away and didn't come back for 24 years. And I took that tiny baby and I gave her everything. My time, my money, my health, my life. But when her mother came back with a new story, a different version of the past, my granddaughter believed her. Believed that I was the one who did something wrong. That I was the one who stole her childhood. And now I'm here, alone, waiting for a phone call that won't come. Waiting for a visit from someone who's rewritten history and cast me as the villain. Let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you what really happened, because soon I won't be able to tell anyone, and the lies will be all that's left. My daughter Claire was always difficult. I don't mean that cruelly, I mean it as a fact. From the time she was a teenager, she was angry at the world. Angry at me for reasons I never fully understood. Her father died when she was 12. A sudden heart attack that took him from us without warning, and something in her broke that never quite healed right. By 16, she was staying out all night. By 18, she was into things I didn't want to know about, things that scared me, things that changed her. I tried everything a mother could try. Therapy sessions I could barely afford, tough love that made me cry myself to sleep. Understanding that she took as weakness, strictness that made her hate me more. Nothing worked. She'd look at me with such hatred sometimes, like I was the enemy instead of the person trying to save her from herself. She moved out at 19. Packed her things while I was at work, left a note saying she needed space, needed to find herself, needed to get away from me. I barely heard from her for 2 years. The occasional text to let me know she was alive. Nothing more, no address, no phone calls. Just enough contact to keep me from filing a missing person report. Then one day, she showed up at my door, pregnant, very pregnant, maybe 7 months along, and sick, so sick. She was thin everywhere except her belly. Her skin had a grayish tint, her hands shook, her eyes were hollow, pupils dilated. I knew immediately. I'd seen enough news reports, enough awareness campaigns at work. My daughter was using something bad. I need help, Mom, she said, standing on my doorstep with a garbage bag of clothes. First time she'd called me Mom without venom in her voice in years. I took her in. What else could I do? She was my daughter. And she was carrying my grandchild. I set her up in her old room, took her to a doctor the next day. The doctor confirmed what I suspected. Claire had been using heavy substances during her pregnancy. The baby was at risk. Claire needed to get clean immediately, or the baby might not survive. I begged her, please, Claire, for the baby. You need to stop. You need to get help. I am getting help. I'm here, aren't I? But being in my house wasn't enough. She'd disappear for hours. Come back looking worse. I'd search her room, find things hidden in her closet, under her mattress. I'd flush them down the toilet. She'd scream at me. We'd fight. Terrible fights where she'd say things that cut me to the bone. I hate you. I've always hated you. You're the reason Dad died. You stressed him out so much, his heart gave out. Words designed to wound, and they did. But I kept trying, kept hoping, kept praying that the baby would be okay. That Claire would wake up and realize what she was risking. Lily was born on a Tuesday morning in March. 7 pounds, 2 ounces, perfect little fingers, perfect little toes. But she was born addicted, went through withdrawal in the NICU, tiny body shaking, crying that high-pitched cry that meant pain. The nurses called it neonatal abstinence syndrome. I called it heartbreaking. I stayed at the hospital 20 hours a day, held that baby through her withdrawal, rocked her, sang to her, promised her everything would be okay, even though I wasn't sure it would be. Claire visited twice in the 2 weeks Lily was in the NICU twice, stayed maybe 20 minutes each time, looked at the baby like she was a stranger, didn't hold her, didn't ask questions, just stood there, detached, like this wasn't her child suffering. When Lily was finally released, the hospital made it clear Claire couldn't take her home alone. She was still unstable. If Claire wanted custody, I'd have to be there, full-time supervision, or the baby would go into the foster system. So I became a full-time caregiver. At 58 years old, I'd been planning to retire in a few years. Travel maybe. Finally have time for myself, after decades of work. Instead, I was starting over with a newborn who needed extra care, extra attention, extra everything because of what she'd been through in the womb. Claire lasted 3 months. 3 months of pretending to be a mother. But she was getting worse. More erratic. Disappearing for longer periods. I'd come home from work to find Lily alone in her crib, diaper overflowing, screaming from hunger, and Claire passed out on the couch. Or gone entirely. I took time off work, used all my vacation days, then unpaid leave. My boss was understanding but firm. I needed to figure something out or I'd lose my job. I needed that job, needed the insurance for Lily, needed the income to support us. I tried to get Claire into rehab. She refused, said she didn't have a problem, said I was exaggerating, said I was trying to control her like I always had. We fought constantly. She'd accuse me of trying to steal her baby. I'd beg her to get help. Nothing changed. Then one morning, I woke up and Claire was gone, really gone. Her clothes, her bag, the few belongings she had, all gone. And a note on the kitchen table. I can't do this. Take care of her. She's better off without me. Don't try to find me. That's it. That's all she left. No phone number. No forwarding address. Just a 3-month-old baby who'd already been through more trauma than most people experience in a lifetime. I tried to find her anyway. Called everyone I could think of who might know where she'd gone. Filed a missing person report. The police did a cursory search, but Claire was an adult. She'd left voluntarily. There wasn't much they could do. After a few weeks, I had to accept reality. Claire wasn't coming back. And I had a baby who needed me. So, I raised Lily. Got emergency custody through the courts since Claire had abandoned her. Went back to work full-time because I had to. Found a daycare that would take an infant with medical needs. Paid for it with money I didn't have. The first year was the hardest thing I'd ever done. Babies are exhausting when you're young. When you're almost 60, they're nearly impossible. My body hurt constantly. My back from carrying her. My arms from holding her. My knees from getting up and down all night. But I loved that little girl so much it didn't matter. I documented everything. Kept records of Claire's abandonment. Medical records showing Lily's condition at birth. My custody paperwork. I had a feeling I'd need proof someday. Proof that I didn't steal Lily. That I saved her. When Lily was 2, I had to make it official. Had to go to court to get legal guardianship. Claire had been gone for almost 2 years by then. No contact, no support, nothing. The court granted me full custody, made me Lily's legal guardian with all parental rights. It should have felt like a victory, but it just felt sad. Sad that my daughter had abandoned her own child. Sad that Lily would grow up without her mother. Sad that I was raising another child when I should have been planning retirement. But Lily was worth it. Every sleepless night. Every aching muscle. Every dollar I didn't have. She was worth all of it. She was a wonderful child. Sweet, affectionate, smart. She called me Grandma, and I loved it. I never tried to replace her mother. Never said call me Mom. I was Grandma, and that was perfect. She'd ask about her mother sometimes. Where's my mommy? Why doesn't she live with us? I kept it age appropriate. Simple. Your mommy wasn't able to take care of you, sweetheart, but I'm here. I'll always be here. Will she come back? I don't know, baby. But you're safe with me. You're loved. That's what matters. And I made sure she felt loved. Made sure she felt wanted. I went to every school event, every parent-teacher conference, every play and recital. I helped with homework, even when I was exhausted, made her favorite meals, read her stories every night. Money was tight, really tight. I couldn't afford much, but I gave her what I could. Love, stability, a home where she felt safe. She thrived, made friends easily, did well in school, was kind and thoughtful. Teachers would tell me what a joy she was. Other parents would comment on how well behaved she was. I was so proud. When Lily was in elementary school, she started asking more questions about Claire. More detailed questions I struggled to answer honestly, without destroying her image of her mother. Why did my mom leave? She was going through some hard things. Adult things that were difficult for her. Did she love me? I'm sure she did, honey. Sometimes love isn't enough to overcome our struggles. Do you think she thinks about me? I hope so, sweetheart. These conversations broke my heart. I wanted to tell Lily the truth. That Claire had been using substances. That she'd left Lily alone as an infant. That she'd chosen her problems over her child. But what good would that do? Lily deserved to believe her mother had loved her, even if her mother hadn't been capable of showing it. Middle school was harder. Lily became more aware of being different. Most kids had parents. She had a grandmother. Most kids had young caregivers who could run around and do active things. I was in my late 60s by then, slowing down, unable to keep up the way I once had. Why can't you be like other parents? She'd ask in moments of frustration. Because I'm your grandma, but I love you just as much as any parent loves their child. It's not the same. I know it's not. Honey, I'm sorry. It's not your fault, Grandma. I'm sorry. I just wish things were different sometimes. Me too, baby. Me too. High school brought its own challenges. Lily started becoming more curious about Claire, more insistent on knowing details. She'd search for her online. Try to find any trace of her. I'd find search histories on the computer. Claire and my last name. Missing person and Claire's information. She was looking for her mother. Desperately. Have you tried looking for her? Lily asked one day. She was 16. I looked for a long time, years. She doesn't want to be found. Maybe she does now. Maybe she's changed. Maybe she wants to meet me. Maybe. But Lily, you need to prepare yourself for the possibility that she won't. That she can't. That she's still struggling. I just want to know her. Is that wrong? No, sweetheart. It's not wrong. It's natural. I just don't want you to get hurt. I won't get hurt. I just need to know. But I knew she would get hurt, because I knew Claire. And I knew that people don't change that easily. That substances don't let go that easily. That my daughter was still out there somewhere, probably still struggling, and meeting Lily could destroy them both. I tried to discourage the search gently. But Lily was determined. She created social media accounts specifically to look for Claire. Posted messages. Looking for my mother. Claire, if you see this, please contact me. Nothing came of it. Claire either didn't see the posts, or chose not to respond. Lily was disappointed but not deterred. I'll find her eventually, she said. I have to. College was expensive. Really expensive. I'd saved what I could over the years, but it wasn't enough. Lily got some scholarships, some financial aid, but there was still a gap. I took out loans. Borrowed money I knew I'd never be able to pay back in my lifetime. But Lily needed an education, needed opportunities. She went to a state school, studied psychology, wanted to help people, wanted to understand why people made the choices they made. I knew she was thinking about Claire, trying to understand her mother through her studies. We talked regularly during her college years. She'd call me a few times a week, tell me about her classes, her friends, her life. I loved those calls, loved hearing about her world, loved that even though she was growing up and moving away, she still wanted to share her life with me. Then, in her senior year, everything changed. Lily called me one evening. Her voice was strange, excited but nervous. Grandma, I need to tell you something, but I need you to not be upset. My stomach dropped. What is it? I found her. I found my mom. The world stopped, after 24 years. 24 years of silence. Claire was back. How? I managed to ask. She found me. Saw one of my posts. Reached out. We've been talking for a few weeks. Grandma, she's doing so well. She's been clean for 5 years. She has a job, an apartment. She's got her life together. That's wonderful, I said, trying to sound supportive even though alarm bells were ringing in my head. I'm glad she's doing better. She wants to meet me, in person. Is that okay? What could I say? That I didn't trust Claire. That I was terrified of what she might do. That I'd spent 24 years protecting Lily from her own mother. Of course it's okay. You're an adult. You can make your own decisions. Thank you. I'm meeting her next weekend. I'm so nervous, but also so excited. I'm finally going to meet my mom. After we hung up, I sat in my house, the same house where I'd raised Lily from infancy, and I cried. I cried because I was scared. Scared that Claire would hurt Lily. Scared that Claire would lie. Scared that everything I'd built would come crashing down. And I was right to be scared. Lily met Claire that next weekend. Came back glowing. Grandma, she's amazing. She's so nice. She explained everything. About why she left. About her struggles. About how much she regretted not being there for me. She cried, Grandma. She cried and said she was so sorry. That's good, honey. I'm glad you had a nice visit. She wants to see me again. Build a relationship. Make up for lost time. Be careful, okay? Take things slow, I will. But Grandma, I really think she's changed. I really think this time is different. I wanted to believe that. Wanted to believe Claire had truly gotten clean, truly changed, truly wanted to be a mother. But I'd believed that before. Multiple times. And I'd been disappointed every time. Over the next few months, Lily and Claire grew closer. They'd meet regularly. Talk on the phone for hours. Lily would tell me about their conversations, their plans, their growing bond. And slowly, I started noticing changes in Lily. She'd become more distant with me. Our phone calls got shorter, less frequent. When we did talk, she seemed distracted, preoccupied. Is everything okay? I'd ask. Yeah, fine, just busy, with school. And spending time with Mom. Mom, she'd started calling Claire Mom. After 24 years of absence. After I'd raised her from infancy. After everything, she was calling Claire Mom. I tried not to let it hurt. Tried to be understanding. Lily had every right to build a relationship with her biological mother. But it hurt anyway. It hurt deeply. Then Lily started asking questions. Questions about the past. About why Claire left. About what happened. Mom says she was sick when I was born. That she was struggling with her mental health. Is that true? Yes, she was struggling. She said you didn't want to help her. That you judged her. That you made her feel like a bad mother. My blood ran cold. That's not true, Lily. I tried to help her. I begged her to go to rehab. I offered to support her. She refused. That's not what she said. She said you took me away from her, that you wanted to raise me yourself, that you didn't give her a chance. Lily, I have documents, court records, medical records, everything showing what really happened. Your mother abandoned you. I didn't take you. I saved you. Maybe that's your version. Maybe there's more to the story. There isn't. Claire left a note saying she couldn't handle being a mother. She walked away. I have the note. I've kept everything. Why would you keep all that? Unless you were planning to use it against her someday. I kept it to protect you. To make sure you knew the truth if this day ever came. Or to make sure your story couldn't be challenged. The conversation deteriorated from there. Lily defending Claire. Me trying to explain what had really happened. Neither of us listening to the other. We hung up angry. Didn't talk for 3 days. When we finally spoke again, Lily was cold. I think I need some space, Grandma. I need to figure out my relationship with my mom without you interfering. I'm not interfering. I'm just telling you the truth. Your truth. But there are 2 sides to every story. And I deserve to hear hers without you poisoning me against her. I'm not trying to poison you. I'm trying to protect you. From what? from having a relationship with my mother. She's changed, Grandma. Why can't you see that? Because I've heard this before. Multiple times. And every time she disappoints. Maybe this time is different. Maybe you just can't stand the thought of not being the only important person in my life anymore. That stung. Really stung. Because part of me wondered if she was right. If my resistance was about protecting her, or about being replaced. That's not fair, Lily, isn't it? You've had me all to yourself for 24 years. Now my mom wants to be part of my life and you can't handle it. We argued for another hour. Said things we didn't mean. Hurt each other with words we couldn't take back. By the end, we were both crying. I love you, Grandma. But I need to do this. I need to get to know my mom. Please try to understand. I do understand. I just don't want you to get hurt. I won't, I promise. But she did get hurt, just not the way I expected. After graduation, Lily moved closer to Claire. Got a job in the same city. Started spending more and more time with her mother. Our communication dwindled to almost nothing. A text here, a short call there. Always rushed. Always distracted. I'd see posts on social media. Lily and Claire together, at restaurants, at parks, looking happy, looking like a real mother-daughter duo. The captions would say things like making up for lost time and so grateful for second chances. I wasn't in any of the photos. Wasn't mentioned in any of the posts. It was like I'd ceased to exist. Like those 24 years I'd spent raising her had been erased. I tried reaching out, calling, texting. Most went unanswered. When Lily did respond, it was brief, polite but distant, like I was an obligation she was trying to manage. Then I started having health problems. My heart. Years of stress and work catching up to me. The doctor said I needed to slow down. Maybe retire. Take care of myself. I called Lily to tell her. Left a voicemail. Hi honey, it's Grandma. I had a doctor's appointment today. Some concerns about my heart. Nothing urgent, but I wanted you to know. Call me when you can. Love you. She texted back 2 days later. Sorry to hear that. Hope you feel better. Things are busy here. That was it. No phone call, no concern. Just a text. I tried not to feel hurt. Tried to understand. She was young, building her life. She had her mother now. She didn't need me anymore. But it hurt anyway. My health continued to decline. I had to retire early. Go on disability. My savings weren't enough to cover everything. I had to sell my house, the house where I'd raised Lily, and move into a small apartment. I called Lily to tell her about the move. She answered this time. You're selling the house. I have to. I can't afford it anymore. My medical bills. The cost of living. It's too much. Where are you moving? I gave her the address. Small apartment across town. Nothing special. What I could afford. Oh, that's far. It's what I can manage. Well, I hope you'll be happy there. Will you come visit? Help me move. I wish I could, but I'm swamped with work. And Mom needs help with some things. Maybe after everything settles. Mom. She kept calling Claire Mom. And I was just Grandma. The person who raised her, who gave up everything for her. I was now just the grandmother. Secondary, optional. I moved alone, packed up 24 years of life by myself. The neighbors helped carry boxes. Strangers were kinder to me than my own granddaughter. In my new apartment, I set up photos. Lily as a baby. As a child. Growing up. All the memories I had. All the moments I'd been there for. Looking at them made me both happy and sad. Happy for what we'd had. Sad for what we'd lost. My heart problems worsened. I started having episodes. Chest pain. Shortness of breath. Ended up in the hospital twice. Both times I called Lily. Both times she said she'd try to visit. Neither time did she come. The second hospitalization was serious. The doctor said I needed someone to check on me regularly. That I shouldn't be living alone. That I needed help. I called Lily from the hospital. Honey, the doctors say I need help. Someone to check on me. I was wondering if you could come stay with me for a little while. Just until I'm stronger. Long pause. Grandma, I can't. I have my job, my life here. I can't just drop everything. I raised you for 24 years. I dropped everything for you. I'm asking for help now. That was different. I was a child. I didn't have a choice. You chose to raise me. Her words were like a knife. I chose to raise her. Like it was optional. Like I could have just let her go into foster care. Like saving her from her mother's neglect was a choice I shouldn't have made. What am I supposed to do? Maybe you should look into assisted living. A place where professionals can help you. You want to put me in a home. It's not like that. It's just practical. You need more help than I can give. I need my granddaughter. The child I raised. I need family. I'll look into places for you. Good places. I promise. She hung up. Left me in that hospital bed, alone. And I realized something. I'd lost her. Somewhere along the way, Claire had turned Lily completely against me, and Lily had let her. 2 weeks later, Lily showed up at my apartment. I was so happy to see her. Hugged her, thanked her for coming. I can't stay long, she said, but I wanted to talk to you in person. She told me she'd found a place, a nursing home. Nice one, she said. Clean, good staff. I could get the care I needed. For how long? However long you need, until you're better. Or, permanently, if necessary. You're putting me away. I'm making sure you're taken care of. There's a difference. Is there? Because it feels like you're getting rid of me. That's not fair, Grandma, isn't it? I raised you from the time you were 3 months old. I gave you everything. And now that I need help, you're putting me in a home. I'm doing what's best for you, for me, or for you. So you don't have to feel guilty about ignoring me. We fought. Really fought. She accused me of being manipulative, of trying to guilt trip her, of not understanding her position. I accused her of abandoning me. Of choosing a mother who'd done nothing for her over a grandmother who'd done everything. She left angry. Said she'd make the arrangements for the nursing home. I'd hear from her soon. A week later, she picked me up, drove me to the nursing home, helped me check in. The room was small, basic, institutional. It smelled like old people and cleaning products. It's nice, right? Lily said, looking around, trying to convince herself. It's fine. I'll visit. Once you're settled, we'll figure out a schedule. Sure. I love you, Grandma. I love you too. She hugged me. It felt final, like goodbye, and in a way it was. That was 8 months ago. She hasn't visited once, called maybe twice. Both calls were brief, asking if I needed anything, if I was comfortable, not asking how I was doing emotionally, not asking if I was lonely, just checking boxes. I sit in this room every day, watch the door, hope she'll walk through it, that she'll remember me, that she'll remember everything I did for her. But she won't, because Claire's won. After 24 years of absence, she came back and took everything, took my granddaughter, turned her against me, made her believe that I was the villain, that I stole her childhood, that I kept her from her mother. And now I'm here, dying slowly in a nursing home, alone. The nurses are kind, but they're not family. They're paid to care. That's different from actually caring. I keep a box under my bed, full of documents, court papers from when I got custody, medical records showing Lily's condition when she was born, police reports from when I tried to find Claire, photos of Lily growing up, every birthday, every school event, every milestone. All the proof that I was there, that I loved her, that I raised her. I think about sending it to Lily, making her see the truth. But what good would it do? She's made her choice. She believes Claire. And maybe that's what she needs to believe. Maybe the truth would only hurt her more. So I keep the box under my bed. And I wait. Wait to die. Wait for a visit that won't come. Wait for my granddaughter to remember that I loved her. That I saved her, that I was her mother when her mother couldn't be. But I don't think she'll remember in time. I think I'll die here, alone, and she'll feel guilty for a while, maybe even cry at my funeral. But then she'll move on. She'll have Claire. And I'll be gone. Forgotten. The grandmother who raised her but wasn't enough. That's how this story ends. With me sitting in this room, staring at that door, waiting for someone who won't come. I raised her after her mother left, and she put me in a home and never visited.
My name is Lily. I'm 32 years old, and I just found a box that's destroyed everything I thought I knew about my life. My grandmother died 3 weeks ago. Heart failure. The nursing home called me at work, said she'd passed peacefully in her sleep, asked if I wanted to come get her belongings. I felt guilty. So guilty. I hadn't visited her in 8 months. 8 months of meaning to go, planning to go, but never actually going. Always too busy. Always something else more urgent. Always telling myself I'd go next week. There was no next week now. I drove to the nursing home. The room was small, sparse. Just a bed, a chair, a small closet, a few photos on the wall. All of me. My whole childhood captured in frames on her wall. My baby pictures, school photos, my high school graduation, my college graduation. Me smiling in every photo, her smiling beside me in the ones where she was included, which was most of them, because she'd been there, for everything. The nurse helping me pack her things was an older woman named Betty. Kind eyes, gentle voice. She talked about you all the time, Betty said. Showed everyone your photos, was so proud of you. The guilt got heavier, crushed my chest. Did she have other visitors? I asked, hoping maybe she hadn't been as alone as I feared. Betty shook her head. Just you. That one time when you brought her here. After that, no one. 8 months. She'd been alone for 8 months, in this tiny room, waiting for me. She'd sit by the window sometimes, Betty continued, watching the parking lot. I think she hoped you'd come. She never said it, but I could tell. I had to sit down. The weight of what I'd done was crushing me. She kept a box under her bed, Betty said. Said it was important. That you should have it. I think she'd been waiting to give it to you. Betty pulled out a box from under the bed. Cardboard. Worn. Like it had been opened and closed many times. Handled carefully. Treasured. I'll give you some privacy, Betty said, and left. I sat on the floor of my grandmother's nursing home room, surrounded by her sparse belongings and the photos of a life she'd lived for me, and I opened the box. On top was a photo album, baby pictures, me as a newborn, me at a few months old. My grandmother, younger then, but still tired-looking, holding me. She looked exhausted in every photo, dark circles under her eyes. But she was smiling, always smiling at me. There were no pictures of my mother. Under the album were documents, legal documents. I started reading. Court papers. Petition for emergency custody. Filed when I was 3 months old. The reason listed. Abandonment and endangerment of minor child. Endangerment? I kept reading. My hands started shaking. Police report. Officers responded to a call about an unattended infant. Found me alone in my crib. No adult present. Signs of neglect. Severe diaper rash. Dehydration. Mother's whereabouts unknown. My mother had left me. Alone. As a baby. Had just left me there. More documents. Hospital records. My medical records from when I was born. Admitted to NICU at birth. Diagnosis: neonatal abstinence syndrome. Mother tested positive for multiple substances during pregnancy. I couldn't breathe. My mother had been using while pregnant with me. I'd been born addicted. Gone through withdrawal as an infant. More papers, social worker reports, concerns about mother's ability to care for infant, mother displaying erratic behavior, suspected ongoing substance use. Grandmother has stepped in as primary caregiver. Recommend emergency custody be granted to grandmother. Then a note, handwritten, my mother's handwriting. I recognized it from cards she'd sent me over the past few years. I can't do this. Take care of her. She's better off without me. dated 3 days after I was released from the hospital, after my grandmother had gotten emergency custody. My mother had left me, with a note, like I was a pet she couldn't keep. I kept digging. Letters, addressed to my mother at various addresses over the years, all returned, unopened. No longer at this address. Return to sender. Addressee unknown. My grandmother had tried to find her. For years. Kept trying to reconnect. Kept giving my mother chances. And my mother had never responded. Had disappeared completely. Medical records. My grandmother's medical records from when I was young. Chronic back pain. Arthritis. Knee problems. All from years of physically demanding work. Work she'd done to support me. To raise me. Financial records. Bank statements showing deposits into a savings account. Small deposits. $20 here, $50 there, for years. Years of saving what she could. All notes said, for Lily's future. School records. Every report card. Every certificate. Every piece of artwork I'd ever made. All kept carefully. All treasured. And at the bottom of the box, a journal. My grandmother's journal. Leather bound. Worn. I opened it with trembling hands. The first entry was dated the day I was born. Claire had the baby today. A girl. Lily. She's beautiful. But she's sick. Born addicted to what Claire's been using. The doctors say she'll recover, but it will be hard. I'm scared. Scared for this baby. Scared of what Claire might do. Scared that I'll lose them both. I read entry after entry. Years of entries. About raising me. About the struggles. About loving me. About missing my mother, but knowing she couldn't be around me. About making impossible choices. An entry from when I was 2. Had to go to court today. Got full custody of Lily. Claire never showed up. Never contested it. She's gone. Really gone. My poor grandbaby will grow up without her mother. But at least she'll grow up safe. Loved. I'll make sure of that. An entry from when I was 10. Lily asked about Claire again today. Wanted to know why her mommy left. How do I tell a 10-year-old that her mother chose substances over her? That she was abandoned? I can't. So I lied. Told her Claire was sick. That she loved her but couldn't stay. It's the kindest version of the truth I can give. An entry from when I was 16. Lily's searching for Claire online. I found her search history. She's so desperate to find her mother. To know her. I understand, but I'm terrified. Terrified of what Claire might tell her. Of the lies she might spread. Of losing Lily after all these years. The entries continued. Through my college years. Through Claire's return. And then they got painful. An entry from 2 years ago, right after I'd met Claire. Lily met Claire today. She came back glowing. Said Claire explained everything. Made excuses for abandoning her. And Lily believed her. Believed all of it. How do I compete with the fantasy mother Claire is selling? I'm the grandmother who had rules and limitations. Claire gets to be fun. Easy. The victim of circumstances. While I'm painted as the villain who kept them apart. An entry from a year later. Lily barely calls anymore. When she does, she's distant. Cold. Claire has turned her against me. I can feel it. Lily asked me questions about the past. Asked if I kept Claire away from her. I tried to explain, but she didn't want to hear it. She's made up her mind. Claire is the victim. I'm the villain. An entry from when I moved her to the nursing home. Lily brought me here today. A nursing home. She says it's for my own good. That I need professional care. But I see the truth. She's putting me away. Like I'm a burden. Like these 24 years of raising her meant nothing. Claire won. After all these years of absence, she came back and took everything. Took my granddaughter and turned her against me. And I'm here, alone, waiting to die. The last entry was dated 1 week before she died. I'm dying. I know I am. My heart is giving out. I don't have much time left. Lily hasn't visited, hasn't called. I don't think she will. Claire has convinced her that I'm the enemy, that I stole her childhood. But here's what I know. I saved her life. I gave her 24 years of love and stability and safety. That has to mean something, even if she never understands it, even if she hates me. I saved her, and I'd do it again. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every dollar I didn't have, I'd do it all again, because she was worth it. My Lily was worth everything. I couldn't see the page anymore through my tears, couldn't breathe, couldn't process what I was reading. My mother had lied about everything. She hadn't been kept away. She'd left, had abandoned me, had nearly let me die from neglect. And my grandmother, my wonderful grandmother who I'd pushed away, who I'd abandoned just like my mother had abandoned me. She'd saved me, raised me, loved me, and I'd thanked her by believing my mother's lies, by choosing the woman who'd done nothing for me over the woman who'd done everything. I sat on that floor for hours, reading every document, looking at every photo, understanding too late what my grandmother had been trying to tell me, what she'd tried to protect me from. When Betty came back, she found me sobbing. "You found it?" she said softly. I didn't know. I choked out. I didn't know any of this. My mother told me lies. She said Grandma kept us apart, that she wanted to raise me, that she pushed my mother away. And I believed her. I chose her over my grandmother. She knew, Betty said quietly. Your grandmother. She knew your mother was lying, but she also knew you needed to believe those lies for a while. She told me once that sometimes love means letting people believe what they need to believe, even when it destroys you. She died thinking I hated her. No, Betty said firmly. She died knowing she loved you. That's different. She didn't need you to love her back. She just needed to love you. That was enough for her. But it wasn't enough for me. It would never be enough. I confronted my mother that same day, drove to her apartment, showed up with the box, dumped it on her table. You lied. About everything. She barely looked at the documents. I told you my version. Your version. This isn't a version. This is the truth. You abandoned me, left me alone as a baby, nearly killed me before I was even 3 months old. And then you came back 24 years later and made my grandmother the villain, made me believe she kept us apart. And I fell for it. I did what I had to do. You didn't have to lie. I told you what you wanted to hear. You wanted a mother. You wanted a reason we weren't together. I gave you one. You let me destroy my relationship with the woman who saved my life, who raised me, who loved me more than you ever could. She shrugged. She had you for 24 years. I wanted my turn. Your turn? She's dead. She died alone in a nursing home because I abandoned her. Because I believed your lies. That's not my fault. I stared at her. This woman who'd given birth to me, but never been a mother. This woman who'd lied and manipulated and destroyed the most important relationship in my life. And I realized something. She wasn't capable of remorse, wasn't capable of love. She was exactly who she'd always been. A user. Someone who took and destroyed and moved on. Don't contact me again, I said. You're choosing her over me? Even now? I'm choosing the truth. And the truth is that you're not my mother. You never were. My grandmother was my mother. And I killed her. I killed her with my betrayal, with my absence, with believing you over her. I left. Cut her out of my life completely. Blocked her number. Deleted her from social media. I should have done that 2 years ago, before I'd hurt the person who actually loved me. But it was too late. My grandmother was gone, and I couldn't tell her I was sorry. Couldn't tell her I finally understood. Couldn't thank her for everything she'd done. I spent weeks drowning in guilt. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Just replayed every moment. Every time I'd ignored her calls. Every time I'd canceled plans. Every time I'd chosen my mother over her. Every wound I'd inflicted. I started seeing a therapist, trying to process it, trying to understand how I'd been so easily manipulated, how I'd thrown away 24 years of love for a fantasy. You were looking for your mother, the therapist said. You were so desperate to have that relationship that you believed what you wanted to believe. That doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you human. But she died alone. Because of me. She died knowing she loved you. That's what the journal said, right? That loving you was enough. But I should have loved her back. Should have been there. Yes, you should have. And now you have to live with that. Have to figure out how to move forward carrying that weight. I started going through my grandmother's things more carefully. Found more journals. More photos. More evidence of a life lived for me. She'd kept everything. Every card I'd ever made her. Every photo. Every memento. All carefully preserved. All treasured. I found financial records showing she'd taken out loans to pay for my college. Loans she was still paying off when she died. Loans that would have been forgiven if she'd lived just 2 more years. She'd gone into debt for me, and died before she could get out of it. I used my inheritance from her, the small amount she had left, to pay off those loans. It was the least I could do. It was nothing compared to what she'd done for me, but it was something. I started volunteering at nursing homes, sitting with residents who had no visitors, listening to their stories, holding their hands. I couldn't give my grandmother back her last 8 months, but I could make sure other forgotten elderly people had someone, had presence, had proof they mattered. I started a support group for grandparents raising grandchildren, helping them navigate the legal system, connect with resources, get support. Every family I helped, I thought of her, of how she'd done it all alone, how she'd figured it out without help, how strong she'd been. I found the hospice worker who'd been with my grandmother at the end, Betty. I thanked her for being there, for making sure my grandmother wasn't alone. She told me my grandmother's last words. Tell Lily I love her. Tell her I understand. Tell her I forgive her. I broke down in Betty's arms. A stranger was kinder to me in that moment than I'd been to my grandmother in her final years. I visit my grandmother's grave every week now. Bring flowers, sit and talk to her, tell her everything. About cutting my mother out, about the volunteering, about the support group, about how I'm trying to honor her memory, about how sorry I am. I tell her I finally understand, that I see now what she sacrificed, what she gave up, what she endured. All for me. All because she loved me. I tell her about reading her journals, about finding the box, about discovering the truth too late, about wishing I could go back and do everything differently. I apologize, over and over, for believing my mother, for abandoning her, for putting her in that home, for never visiting, for letting her die alone, for everything. Sometimes I imagine she can hear me, that wherever she is, she knows I finally understand, that she knows I'm sorry, that she knows I loved her even though I did a terrible job of showing it. Other times I'm sure she can't hear me, that she died thinking I hated her, that she spent her last months alone believing she'd wasted 24 years on someone who didn't appreciate her. Both possibilities destroy me. My life looks different now. I'm not the same person I was 3 weeks ago. I'm someone carrying the weight of profound regret, of unforgivable betrayal, of love recognized too late. I can't change what I did. Can't bring her back. Can't get those 8 months back. Can't undo the pain I caused. All I can do is remember and try to be better. Try to honor her by being the person she raised me to be. The person I forgot I was, when I was so desperate for my mother's love that I threw away my grandmother's. She raised me after my mother left. She gave me everything, and I put her in a home and never visited. That's my truth. That's what I have to live with. That's the choice I made and can never unmake. I just hope, somehow, somewhere, she knows I'm sorry. That I finally see what she was, what she gave, what she meant. That I finally love her the way she always loved me, even though it's too late.
She raised her granddaughter from 3 months old, saving her from a mother who'd abandoned her in the worst way possible. 24 years later, that mother returned with lies, and the granddaughter believed them, choosing fantasy over the woman who'd sacrificed everything. She died alone in a nursing home, leaving behind evidence of the truth. Sometimes people wake up to what they've lost, but sometimes they wake up too late. The lesson isn't just for the ones who abandon. It's for the ones who believe convenient lies over inconvenient truths. Some mistakes we live with forever. If this story broke your heart, subscribe. Tell me in the comments, have you ever believed a lie that destroyed a relationship? Have you recognized the truth too late? Share your pain, your regret. Maybe it helps someone else see what they're about to lose before it's too late. Share this with someone who needs it. Maybe someone who's being manipulated away from the people who truly love them. Like, if you believe actions speak louder than words, and presence over 24 years matters more than promises after 24 years of absence, turn on notifications for more stories. Thank you for listening. And remember, the people who were there when it was hard deserve your loyalty more than the people who show up when it's easy. Until next time.